Hey everybody, welcome to day 53 of the 100-day project and me making 100 hearts. This is actually take 3 for me. I think you can see that you can see the threads here. I had to tack these down because 2 tries and I had them where I thought they were perfect and got 3 of them sewn down and nothing else lined up. So I was like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. So we are just going to sew these down and call it good. I hope this finds everyone doing well and that you are happy and healthy and life is good for you and that you're working on a project yourself. Pull up a cup of tea or a project or a big glass of wine, which I kind of wish I had right now, although I don't drink wine. Don't drink alcohol at all, but wish I did on days like today. Anyhow, life is good, Martha. Life is good. You just have to keep telling yourself that. I am not happy with that first stitch, but the heck with it. I'm leaving it there. We are going to carry on and have a good day, a good stitch session. This is day 53, and I am fresh out of ideas. I had this one brewing for a while, and I knew it would be a challenge, which is why I put it off. I was feeling pretty good about things this morning, but I literally have been working on this for hours. Hours and hours and hours. I started it after breakfast, which for me is, oftentimes 9:30-ish, 10 o'clock-ish. And I know the lighting is terrible today. The sun is not out. It is an overcast 80 degrees with high humidity and a chance of rain. Although I personally don't think we're going to get the rain. I think we're just going to get the humidity and the overcast skies from the storms going around us. But I could certainly be very incorrect about that. I'm not happy with myself at the moment. I really am not. My other stitches were tiny and practically invisible, and I liked them that way. These are not, but I think I'm frustrated, and trying to get this to work out the right way has put me in a complicated place. So we are going to just do our best today and carry on. I hope whatever you're working on is more successful. I'm feeling a little deflated because I have been working on this a lot today and I wanted to do other things. Although I have been very productive today. I did my exercises this morning, not the bike or going and working on my exercise table, but I did some here in the room, and then I decided after breakfast I started some laundry and I got all of my clothing done. It has to be either folded and put away or hung up and put away, but it is washed and dried. And I decided I was going to make pita pockets today, and then reread the recipe and said, nope, that's too much work. And then I decided I was going to make, you know, that crusty bread that everybody started making, like artisan bread. It's the kind you put in a, I still can't remember the name of the stupid cooker you put it in. It's a enamel cast iron pan with a cover on it, like Le Creuset. There's a name for that pot, and it has escaped me all day. We make soup in it, although I stopped making my soup in it because the stupid thing is so freaking heavy that I have a hard time picking it up, and especially when we're washing and drying it. And even Tony is finding it very heavy nowadays. But anyway, then I had seen a lady on TikTok just a few days ago make several loaves of that bread. Like, she made various types of it. I think she did, I don't know if she did olive bread, and then she did like a cinnamon raisin bread. She had her adult daughters over helping her too. And they, one of the loaves she split up into separate little pieces, and she made rolls out of them. And hers turned out perfect. Well, that's what I wanted, were the rolls. And I've made the bread once before. It turned out okay. I wasn't thrilled with it. I don't like sourdough bread. But this is not sourdough. It's the artisan crusty 4-ingredient bread. You just use flour, salt, yeast, and warm water. Let it rise for like an hour. And then you put it in the you preheat your oven and preheat your pan and the cover to the pan. And when the hour is up, you take your pan out and you put the dough on the parchment paper, and you put it in the pan and you bake it, and it comes out all crispy, crusted, and it comes out with the ones I see have all like bubbles on the inside. Not bubbles, you know, air pockets. Mine doesn't come out like that. Mine comes out very wet and moist on the inside. I don't like it that much. But I thought, well, I'll try it and make the rolls. And I also experimented. I mean, this is probably my problem. I just go off willy-nilly with these things. And recipes don't always work well when you do that. But instead of 3 cups of white flour, I wanted to use a cup of whole wheat flour. Well, I think the whole wheat flour acts differently. I've heard that through watching different people bake. I've heard that certain flour has different, like, what do they call it? Elasticity and different things like that. Anyway, I like good old-fashioned drier bread. So I think my next loaf of bread, if I attempt another loaf, will not be this recipe. I think it'll be more of a traditional bread recipe that you need, because kneading, I like doing the kneading part of it. I like the therapy that comes along with kneading dough until it's smooth and elastic. But anyway, so yeah, So I made the rolls, and I had seen a video actually this morning, not searching for it, it just popped up after I did a search for the bread, that said you can tell your bread is done by checking the temperature. If it's over 200 degrees, your bread is done. So I took out my meat thermometer when the timer went off, and it said 200 degrees, and I said, okay, the bread is done. I tapped the top of the bread, and it sounded like, it was supposed to sound. Let it cool for about 10 minutes, opened one up. It wasn't done. It needed another 10 minutes in the hot oven. So there was that. It might be okay if I stick it in the toaster oven, like cut one of the rolls open. Did I say that I was making rolls out of it instead of a whole loaf of bread? Yeah, I divided the dough up into pieces. Not equal pieces, mind you, even though I tried. But I did divvy it up into pieces, and it made, I think, let's see, I cut that into half. And it may have made 8 or 10 of them, something like that. Anyway, I didn't count. And Tony probably won't eat them. He hasn't eaten any of the bread I've tried to make, so I don't blame him. I remember when I don't know if I was in my 20s or 30s, I tried to make bread, and the thing came out like a brick, literally. Like, I remember just laughing so hard that it was such a fail. Some of us are not meant to be successful at certain things like bread making. It's a good thing my family, I wasn't born in the old days when homemade bread was like a staple, because my family would have starved. Because even like, and I usually fail bigger at the ones with yeast in them. Those are the ones I fail the most at. Even though my yeast is fresh and my flour is fresh, I think, there are pizza places in New York and New Jersey who swear it's the water they use. And our water is very hard, and it's not very tasty. It leaves like watermarks on our sinks and stuff. So I think that the water could be part of it. I've seen where some people make bread with like a soda water, a bubbly water. I don't know. Anywho's, the attempt was okay. I will try one later when they've been sitting for a little bit, and we'll see. We shall see. I don't think I'll be eating all of them, though. And yeah, so I started this thing. I've taken it out twice. Wasted the thread because I had to cut them all out. And it was extremely frustrating. So between the bread and this, it's kind of been one of those days where I have not felt very successful. The sliding door is not open, and you can't hear the birds. Although the birds are out there. We've been watching them today. They are, let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I will start here. Trying to pre-think things and make sense of it at the same time. Not always easy. Not with my brain. So the birds have been really swarming the feeders, and I know what some of them are, but I need to do research on these little brown ones that don't have any other color on them. I think they might be, they're either a sparrow or a wren, I think. Don't know. I need to get downstairs stand in the window and take a picture and then compare it to an online, example of what this bird might be. But they're pigs. They're little piggies. They just want to eat everything all themselves. Then we have these other birds that are reddish, and they're not cardinals, they're smaller, because we do have a pair of cardinals that hang around. We also have a pair of mourning doves. So this morning, I guess I didn't know it, but till he told me, Tony had gone out and put some seed on the ground. So the mourning doves did show up when we were standing there watching them, but he kept telling them they were going the wrong way. That wasn't where the food was on the ground. And we feed black oil sunflower seeds, and so the birds take the shells off and leave the shells everywhere. Like the whole backyard is full of shells. So the birds that come along, they think there's some sort of food on the ground, even though it's just the shells. But we love watching them. And of course the squirrels try to get their share. And then so Tony had put the hummingbird feeder up, and a hummer showed up this morning. And I saw it twice. And he did not get a chance to see it, but he had also made fresh food this morning to refill the feeder with, so he went out and did that after I told him I saw the hummer. But I don't know, I think the hummer was just a scout. I don't know if it was the one that comes here or not. We have 3 or 4 that come here every year. So sometimes it takes a while for them all to show up. I'll be here at the same time. And then they fight over the bird feeder all summer. They actually have wars out there, literal wars where they're zooming in and out and chasing each other away. We've tried putting a second feeder up, but they really don't. They tend not to go to the second feeder. I don't know why. And the fatso guy that hogs all the food and the feeder to himself, he chases them off the second feeder anyway. So, yeah. So they're coming back. So it's been, like I said, a pretty productive day. However, when I sat down to start doing this and try to put this together, I tried laying it on the heart and then taking a photograph. And then I tried pinning them down. That didn't work. And I tried just freehand sewing them based on the photograph. That didn't work because they weren't covering it the way it was when I just laid them on it. And so I got pretty frustrated. And after the second time tearing it out, I was like, forget it. Nope. So I said, be smart, don't be lazy, tack them down. And now this one's going to have to go. Like, I'm going to have to, I can't do the edge. The edge is going to overhang the heart. I'm just going to very gently tack it down in 3 places. And go back here. And I'm sorry the lighting is really bad. I'm going to have to invest in a ring light or, oh, good catch, Martha. Something that covers more area than the light I have. Because when the sun's not shining in here, I don't get enough ambient light to light this up, and my little lamp is not doing a good enough job. So I didn't pre-plan that, the execution of that stitching either, so not very well. Ay, ay, ay. So what are you all up to? Talk to me. Oh, I so wish you could talk to me. Because that would be really nice right now. I could use some company. And poor Tony, after I burned my fingers the other day, he's like, let me get that out of the oven. I said, I'm fine. Oh, let me get that out of the oven. I'm thinking, you know, you're not the most graceful person either. I mean, my burns are doing okay. You can barely see them. This one, that's still a little iffy. I'm not sure what that one's going to do. But, you know, it was a mistake. My mind is too many places at once. And these hexagons are so easy. Hexies are so easy to make. I do the cheater way. I can insert a video, little short video I did. I learned to make these way back when I was making journals. And I think it was either Ann Wood from Sew for the Soul when she was doing the 52 tags handmade. I started that project. I did not finish it, which is why this project for me is I gotta finish it. That's why I committed to doing it on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. So although I am sort of getting ready to think that I'm ready to be done with it. Honestly. I'm gonna struggle through the next 40 something hearts, but that's okay. I think I said that yesterday as well. I guess it would be 47 hearts now. I feel like I'm working in the dark and you can't see what I'm doing. That and my hands are always in the way. Whoop! No, 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 no! Ah! I lost. Needle chicken. Heard of thread chicken? This is needle chicken. Can you save it from coming out of the needle or not? And yes, my eye is very small for this thread, but I was using a bigger needle and I did not like it. So, yeah, so the 52 tags handmade, I never finished it. I still have them, but I never did finish it. But I should go back and look at them, and dig them out from wherever I put them. I can't remember where they are at the moment. But I should dig them out and see if there's any ideas in there that I could use on this project. I also took a class with Ariane Zurcher. Stitching class on how to make Dorset buttons. I wasn't very successful at that either. I mean, I did them, but I wasn't crazy about what I did. So, but I learned a lot from her videos as well. I don't think she's doing stitching videos anymore. I don't know. I haven't checked in a long time. But, do this out here so I don't flip you out with all the movement under the camera. But I should go back and look at some of her older videos because she does some pretty cool stuff too. Come on, please. Please go through. Pretty please. Pretty, pretty, please. Today's Friday. Oop. Fat fingers. I know I can do this. Done it 2 other times. What was I talking about? Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. I am thinking I usually do a fried potato Friday, but I've been baking them in the oven. Okay. Alrighty. Moving on. I'm going to start here so I can go up that way when I am done. That's the problem with a long thread. And I brewed some tea this morning, and I put it in the refrigerator, and I just remembered that it's been there ever since. And I use since I've learned that some tea bags, well, most tea bags are not very healthy. Once they hit the hot water, I got a tea strainer, and I don't use loose leaf tea. At some point, I would like to switch over to loose leaf tea, but I do know that it's also more expensive. So I buy an organic green tea. Of course, I need to do the math and see how many cups I get out of each tea bag and see if the loose leaf is way more expensive. But, you know, it's math, so I haven't done that yet. So I tear the tea bag open, even though the organic green tea is supposed to be, the bags are supposed to be less unhealthy. And I pour the tea into the little teeny tiny crushed up tea. I pour it into the tea strainer holder, and then pour the hot water in the cup and put the tea strainer in the cup. Some tea leaves end up in the bottom because that tea is so fine. But anyway, I do like the taste of it. But this green tea, it's a decaf green tea, thank goodness. But it's going to be very strong. It may not taste that great when I go to drink it because I totally forgot to take the strainer out. So it's been hours. It's going to be quite a strong tasting tea. Oh, darn. I don't think it matters because even if I start now, I won't end up where I want to up there, but that's okay. It's all right. It's okay, Martha. Relax. Breathe. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what projects I'm going to work on after this, and maybe even starting before I end this project. I need to... I have a problem with that. Can you work on multiple projects at once? Or do you have to finish a project before you can start another one? I have to finish a project before I can start another one. I don't multitask well when it comes to that. I don't know why. Like, I'm not one to do slow stitching and crocheting, like work on a separate crochet project, or have more than one slow stitching project at a time. I don't do well with that. I don't know why. Isn't that interesting? Is that an ADHD thing? Oh, maybe. I don't know. I thought it was the opposite for ADHD, that you pretty much had a hard time focusing on one project. I hyper focus on one project. Like, I am always thinking about the next heart. Like, what can I do? What can I do? What's the next one going to be? I need another heart to do. So, yeah. Ow. Think I'm accident prone much? I know I am. I can't tell you the number of times I fell off of horses when I was horseback riding. And when you're old, you don't bounce very well. You break, you don't bounce. Although the only thing I think I ever broke were ribs. At one time they thought I broke my pelvis, but I didn't. I just bruised myself really badly. Whoa, hello, come back. Whip it around. Whip it. Whip it good. Okay. Ow. All right. Now we're cooking. I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere with this one. Ooh, that's close to the edge. We'll move it in just a teensy bit there. Alrighty. I'm going to I'm just going to carry my thread up, but I'm going to tuck it under these stitches here. All right. I'm going to crunch this one in a little more, so it's more on the edge. We watched Top Gun Maverick last night. It actually was pretty good. I don't know if it was as dramatic as the first one, the Top Gun, but we were looking for something to watch, and it was playing, and it was free, so on whatever channel Tony found it on. And I was like, let's go for it. Okay, it's driving me crazy. I have to cut this guy. Okay. I will be cutting all of the tacking stitches off, of course. And as far as the spaces in here, I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. I have some itty-bitty Hexies, but then they would overlap each other. And I don't know if I want that. I could do stitches. I have not decided yet. So that is TBD, to be determined. Come on. was going to make for dinner, I was thinking I would make, I tried to make like a veggie burger a few weeks ago. It was more like loose meat, ground meat, whatever you want to call it. More like a, it wasn't, it didn't stay together as a burger, but it was still good. And I had it in one of my flour tortillas with some other stuff. So it was kind of like a taco that way. And I was going to do that, but put some like tomatoes, onions, stuff like that in it, and make sort of a sloppy joe kind of. Put a little vinegar in it so it'd be a little tangy. And make like a sloppy joe out of it with the burger buns. So I might try that. Wow. What am I doing here? Okay. Where's that stitch? Oh my gosh. Beige on beige on beige. Sometimes my eyes need some assistance. Spoke to my brother and sister-in-law in California the other day. It was must have been Monday, I think. The day after Easter. It was either Monday or Tuesday. And they're doing well. I try and keep in touch with them like once a month or so. More so than I used to before my other brother passed away. My other brother and I were much closer than my California brother. So there's that. But I do like hearing from them and keeping in touch with them. They have not been in harm's way with the flooding or they don't get any snowfall, but they haven't been in harm's way as far as the flooding at this point. Thank goodness. I don't think there's anybody I know. Tony has some family in California, and I have one friend in California who's not that far from my brother, actually. But they have not had to deal with the flooding from the huge snowfall they had out there. Lots and lots of snowfalls that they had out there over the winter, which is now all melting and causing terrible flooding. But Andy said that they are not having that much trouble with it. Am I done? Did I finish it? I'm done. I didn't even know I was done. Look at that. Okay. I'll take these off. So it was wonderful to hear from them. I was very happy to hear from them. They had actually called on Easter. And I tried to call her back, and she must have been calling other people, like her family and stuff. Because I'm the only one left in his family that he would call. And the line was like busy, 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 because they have a landline still. We do not. And then I tried to call later, and all I got was the answering machine. So I left a message, said, "Tag, you're it again." So they end up calling back when they're free. Come on. I have no nails, so. Oh, it's stuck there. Why are you stuck there? Get out of there. Okay. I did it all. Yay me! It's done. Day 53. There's a few gaps in there, but I'm okay with that. Okay. There I go trying to turn the pen on like it's a regular pen again. So this is 5. 3. Yay! Success. That was not easy. I mean, I've literally been working on this for like hours and hours and hours. I have these 2 little Hexies that I could put right there, and I'll think about it. I don't know if I want to or not. But there's a little gap up here, and there's not a gap here. So I don't know if I would do that or not, because then I'd be like, have to make some more tiny ones and put them on. I think I'm just going to leave the gaps and call it good. But thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate it. I love you all. Let me know what you're doing. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And I hope you have a great day. Have yourself a great weekend. I hope it warms up for you wherever you are. Robin. And you guys take care. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Comment below if you want to. Take care. Bye, everybody. See you on the next one.